بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of lessons on Islamic management. So chapter 2 is about manifestations of Islam in management. First, we have a discussion about what are the sources that we can use for understanding Islamic management, and then we talk about the main theme of the chapter. One way might be to explore Muslim history and civilization and see how Muslims, yes.
I'm sorry, before you start, I wasn't here the first day when you passed out these books. Do you have another one by any chance?
Yeah, I think I gave to your wife, yeah?
Yeah, to my wife.
Yeah. Okay. Here you are. You're welcome.
You don't need it, right?
Pardon? No, for you.
Thank
Thank you. So, one way is to study Muslim history and civilizations, how Muslims in different parts of the world have been managing, and take note of the good practices. But I said this by itself is not necessarily showing Islamic management, because unless you have already an understanding of what is Islamic management, you cannot choose which one is Islamic, which one is not. If it is the way our Prophet ﷺ and Imams did management, which is another thing, inshallah we'll talk about it, that's yes. But if ordinary people who are not ma'soom, if they have done something, we can say it's Muslim way of doing things, but not necessarily Islamic. The other way is to find out how Muslims were inspired by Islam, especially ma'sumin. This needs people to be already experts in the field of management. The third, which maybe is more straightforward, is to go to our original sources, to our hadith and Quran, and try to find answers for our questions. If you don't have already questions in your mind, sometimes you read things and you don't get the message. So it's very important that whenever you go, you have already some question without imposing your own answers. Yeah, it's very difficult for understanding anything from Quran or Hadith. If you are empty-minded, you don't get anything. If you have shaped your mind, then you may not get the answer which Quran is offering. So what should you do? You should try to think about the subject, collect questions, but keep your minds open so that the answers really come from the text, not from your presuppositions. So sometimes I say like this, that Quran is ma'duba, is a divine banquet. Yeah? If someone invites you for a meal, what do? You try to go there while you are hungry. Yeah? But if you have already had your food, or you are taking your food, you are not going to enjoy. So hunger, when it comes to understanding, means curiosity, thirst for learning. So we should go with some hunger, with some questions, curiosity, but be open. So we try to refer to the Quran and Sunnah and practice of ma'sumin to, inshallah, find some aspects of Islamic management. There are two ways that Islam can affect, at least two ways that Islam can affect our model of management. One is Islamic worldview about the whole world, about creation, creator, ourselves, our position in this world. The other thing is Islamic value system. Both Islamic worldview and Islamic value system, they make our management different from secular management or from managements of maybe some other religious groups. Okay? So, in this particular part, I am benefiting from Ayatollah Misbah's Rahmatullah alayhi book on management with some added points. May Allah inshallah bless his soul. So, to have some aspects of Islamic worldview and Islamic value system which helps us in our management, I'll mention few points. One is that we are to understand that we are part of Allah's system. This world is very organized and structured and well-maintained system. You know, if you go somewhere, for example, if you travel to a country and you believe that that country is run by a system which has planned everything and everything is well connected, you have different behavior compared to when you go to a country and you think everything is chaotic. There's no system, there's anarchy. This world for us is very well organized and structured and maintained. So this is very important to remember, that what you are doing in any capacity cannot be considered as something that happens in vacuum. Everything that we do is connected to the rest of the world and is affecting and affected by other things. Yeah, it's very important. Like a surgeon that is doing surgery on one part of the body but must observe the general conditions of the body. Yeah, you cannot say I don't bother about the heart because I am working on the kidney. At the same time that you are working on the kidney, you have to consider the situation of the heart and breathing and brain and everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran in chapter 54 verse 50, وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا وَاحِدًا. Our affair is not except one. This ayah has lots of discussion. In some philosophical and theological lectures, we have talked about this ayah. One aspect of this ayah is that whatever Allah has done and is doing, indeed is just one action. For us, we analyze the things and we put them into a smaller part so that we can understand. Because we are ourselves extended over time and space. Yeah? We are extended over time and space. For us, there is past, present, future, there is here and there. But for Allah, there is no such a thing. So, if we see an action is taking place over time or is taking place over certain space, it doesn't mean that Allah is taking time or Allah is visiting different places. Yeah? So, how many times Allah has created? One. He has only created once. How many things He has created? You can say one. But this one, we can analyze it into a smaller parts or into a smaller portions of time. Otherwise, everything is one, because from one only one can come. So, this means that we are dealing with a system, and everything is very closely connected with other things. Okay? Nothing happens in vacuum, whether we understand or not. So, one implication of this is to know that whatever you are doing, the rest of system is aware and reacts. If you do good things or bad things, even if you have good intention or bad intention, the system is not indifferent. The system supports people who do good things or have good intention. Like, if you are a student who is thirsty for learning, you want to learn, everything in the school helps you. Teachers, head teachers, school facilities, library, equipments, classrooms, everyone helps someone who wants to study in the school. But if someone wants to start, for example, a shop in the school without permission and sell secretly things or do other kinds of things in the school, which a school is not prepared for, he faces always obstacles. Yeah? He gets into trouble with teacher, with head teachers, with classmates, with the parents, because he is doing something which is not the purpose of the school. So this world is a kind of a school for us to learn, to have ma'rifah of Allah and ourselves, to develop our spirituality. If we act according to the purpose of this world, you have all kinds of support from Allah, from angels, from the spirits of awliyaullah, from laws of and sunan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you get lots of support. But if you want to do something against the will of Allah and against the will of the one who has built this system and against the purpose, then you will face problems. And internally and externally, you will lose your peace. Okay? Also, this system is very much based on the truth and facts. And one of the things that we have to always work on ourselves is, at the same time, these are very delicate things and you need balance. At the same time that we should value opinions of other people about us, but we should not do things for the opinion of people. Yeah? Because if people are good people, then their opinion reflects pleasure of Allah. So the main thing is the pleasure of Allah. If they are bad people, their opinion doesn't have any value. So a mu'min should consider the facts and refer to the opinions of people who can help to get feedback. Because if mu'mineen, if good people are happy with what you do or you say, it can be a sign of Allah's pleasure. But if you know you are doing something wrong and people still appreciate, you are deceiving yourself. Or anything that you don't deserve to be praised for and people praise you, you should not be happy. For example, people maybe give me credit for something that I have not done, or give me credit for a level of knowledge or achievement that I have not committed or have not made. I shouldn't feel happy. Unfortunately, sometimes we are so, ignorant and so irrational that if people mistakenly give me a praise, we become happy. Yeah. For example, if I am not a doctor and people say, doctor, I may become happy. Yeah. Or if I am not Ayatollah and people say Ayatollah, I may become happy. But this is unwise. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, I have quoted this hadith on page 29. This very beautiful hadith of Imam Kazim alayhi salam to Hisham ibn Hakam. This is one of my favorite hadiths. And alhamdulillah, we had 10, 11 lectures on this hadith in the shrine of Lady Masuma. So in part of the hadith, Imam says, it's Imam Kazim, not Imam Sadiq. Ya Hisham, لو كان في يدك جوزة وقال الناس في يدك اللؤلؤة. You have knot in your hand and someone says this is a pearl. ما كان ينفعك وأنت تعلم أنها جوزة. It's not going to benefit you when you know the fact that this is not pearl. Yeah? ولو كان في يدك اللؤلؤة وقال الناس إنها جوزة ما ضرك وأنت تعلم أنها لؤلؤة. And if you have pearl and people say no, it's not going to harm you. So this system is based on the facts, on the truth, and therefore we have to be interested in the facts and truth only. Another aspect of this awareness is that we can neither hide nor escape from this system. You cannot hide yourself from this system and all the arrangements for superseding you. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. Chapter 96, verse 40. Doesn't man know that Allah is seeing him all the time? Even our intentions matter. In some moral systems, they only consider actions. But in Islamic system, only actions are not, actions are not the only things. Intentions are also very important. So I said, good intentions are not a replacement for efficiency. You may have very good intention, that's amazing, we appreciate, but it's not enough. We should not choose managers who have good intentions only. Yeah? They should be capable of delivering the job. For instance, it's not enough for a bank manager to establish a bank and then pray, recite Quran and wish the best for everyone. So, by intention. Or, make a hospital and just, pray and, say, inshallah, everyone, will be healed in the hospital. We should be very efficient. But this efficiency needs to be rooted in sacred motives. Okay? So our good motive and intention does not replace what we have to do, but we do everything properly. For example, from recruiting doctors, nurses, all the procedures that we have to set up. Everything in our hospital should be very professional, but with good intention. With sincere hearts. Not just good intention and sincere hearts. Both. And not just professionalism. We need both. And if we do this, we get the best results. We should understand that we are occupying a small part of a massive system. And success within this system will not come through disregarding its order and regulations. If someone starts a business in a city and doesn't consider local requirements, he says, I managed to do things by hiding and secretly. Sooner or later, you will be stopped. How can then you do something in this world without observing Allah's rules and regulations? You will face problems and challenges and you will not be able to succeed. Anything that conflicts with divine order will not bring enduring benefits. Maybe for a short period of time you think you are making success, like a person who opens a shop without taking permission. Maybe a few days he can keep the shop and sell things, but then it will be stopped. The same is with disregarding Allah's regulations. Another aspect of Islamic management is that we need to advance towards collective good. So besides being connected and well regulated, this world has a definite purpose, which lies in human development and perfection. I gave the example of the school, and then I say, this world is not a neutral place. So you shouldn't say, whether we are mu'min or not, it doesn't make difference. We have to do our things. No. This world is not a neutral place. All the angels, all the general laws or sunan of Allah, indeed everything in this world is geared towards assisting our movements toward perfection. Even problems of this world help us for perfection. The things that seem to be problems, these are actually best helpers for perfection. Thus, not only should a manager see himself or herself as an element of the system, you are part of the system, but you should also try to improve your contributions for the benefit of humanity. So my work is part of a system, and also I want to help the people who are under me directly, but all creation, all the world. It is true that a single person cannot solve all the problems of the world. However, each person can improve the part for which they are responsible. Indeed, our socio-political awareness should not become a cause for despair or loss of focus. Sometimes we get despaired because we know the problems, or sometimes we lose focus because we want to deal with many, many issues. We know there are many problems. Don't become despaired and don't lose focus because there are many problems. The best result is when you are aware of the problems, but you focus on what you are the best at. Yeah? If I want to solve all the problems, it's not possible. We should know what is happening in the world and around us. Reasonably, of course. You don't need to know all the details, but you should have good information about what is happening in the world and around you. But at the same time, we have to concentrate on carrying out our personal tasks and mission. Yeah? This is very important. If everyone adopted this approach, our collective condition would improve. Okay? So, if you are a nurse, if you are a teacher, if you are a doctor, if you are an engineer, if you are a businessman, if you are a student, whatever you are, if you are a politician, find out what's the best you can do with your experiences, with your background, with your credentials. I'm not saying do one thing, maybe some people can do two things, maybe some people, but what is important is that you cannot do everything. You have to prioritize your tasks based on your background, your capabilities, etc. The way we administer the affairs of our organizations and businesses also needs to be in line with this path of collective growth and perfection. So you cannot misappropriate what belongs to other people, or damage your competitors. For example, a prime minister of a country is responsible for securing the interests of his or her nation, but not at the cost of damaging other nations. Yeah? Islamically, whether you are responsible of a country or an organization or a mosque, you try to improve yours without harming the rest. Yeah? Imagine if the world of politics was like this, that politicians felt responsible for their own nations, but also wanted the best for other nations. That would be amazing. Not that, you only think about your nation and then you are happy to exploit and, manipulate others. A good politician will try to achieve the maximum benefit for his or her country in ways that can also help others, or at least not harm them. But unfortunately, many times it's not like this. They are happy. For example, if these poor people, they don't know what's the benefit of this, I don't know, resource that they have. They give them no money and take it. Or they give very little and take it. Or they bribe, sometimes and they take things. But Islamically, we know that this is wrong, not only ethically wrong, this is also a wrong way of working for progress. You are not going to have endurable development and progress in your country by exploiting resources of others. It's impossible. Inshallah, I will talk about the concept of barakah. In secular management, there is no, concept of barakah, and there is no concept of tawfiq. Two concepts which are very important for us, barakah and tawfiq. Inshallah, we will discuss. So if you do things in the proper way, you have tawfiq to do more, and you have barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, I hope this can happen. But for me, all nations are important, and I want to serve all nations. I want all people prosper. I want all people have peace. We should be, inshallah, following rahmatan lil alameen. So inshallah, we should be rahmat lil alameen. So if one day I have ability to serve as a representative of my nation or my religion, this doesn't mean that I have no concern for others. I have great concern for others as well. So, a good politician will try to achieve the maximum benefit for his or her country in ways that can also help others or at least not harm them. So, another thing that we have to observe is Allah has given freedom to human beings. Amir al-Mu'minin said to his son, لا تكن عبد غيرك قد جعلك الله حرا. Yeah? Don't be servant or a slave of anyone. Allah has created you free. As a manager, you have to observe that people that you work with in any capacity, they have been created with freedom. Don't act as a dictator or don't impose all the decisions. Let them have some space to exercise their freedom by being free to share their thoughts, by being free to try new things, new ways, maybe something that you didn't think about, but they should be free to say, we can do it in this way. Of course, there has to be a system so that at the end, the organization doesn't keep going from one direction to another direction, and every member of staff is taking their liberty to do things. But also it should not be a very rigid organization that no one has the ability to say or do something new. So respect for human freedom is very important. And one aspect of it is freedom to express their ideas. Sometimes people are afraid of saying their ideas because they know the manager will be upset and they will lose their job, or at least they would lose promotion. Yeah. I heard this story that one person asked one of the kings, I know which king, but I don't mention, that he was asked by the king, he was a general, that you served my father when he was king, and now you are working with me. What difference you find between me and my father? He said, please exempt me from this. He said, no, you must answer. So he said, it was very difficult to tell lies to your father, because he was always able to detect and was punishing us if we were telling him lies. We had to tell him the truth. But when it comes to it, it's very difficult to tell you the truth. So, so he was very upset. After some time, he had a reception to meet the generals who were working and those who were retired. And he was retired by that time. He lost the job. So when he met him, he said, "Didn't I tell you that we cannot tell you the truth?" Because soon after that, they dismissed him. Yeah. Yes. Pardon? Yeah, for a break, yeah? Yes, yes, yeah. So, yes, sure. So, we stop here. It's a good place for a stop. And inshallah, if Allah gives permission, after break, we can continue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.